Hey, bro. Since 2025 is coming to an end, what's your favorite movie of the year?
Honestly, I don't really know. There's a lot of good choices for this year.
Well, that's a good question. 2025 had a pretty great release year. I mean, we got movies like Superman, David, Sinners, K-pop Demon Hunters. We have so much variety this year. I can't even begin to pick a favorite. So I'm stumped as you are, man. I really don't know. I mean, yeah, sure, we have a wide variety of movies this year, but there's got to be one definitive answer, right? Like one solid movie of the year, right? Like we have to have that, don't we? Isn't that how it works? I mean, yeah, we should technically have one definitive answer. I mean, how can we just pick just one between all kinds of different movie genres? Like we have horror, action, animation, just comedy. Like, what's the best for each one? How can you tell? I really don't know. Like, and which one is the best out of each of those? Like, which one stands above them all? Okay, you got me thinking now. How about we ask someone like Cameron Kintz? He does those Cinemalympics, right? Like he still does those, right? Does he still upload? Really? Cameron Kintz is still alive, and I know he does a variety of things, but what exactly is the Cinemalympics? Because yes, Cameron Kintz is still definitely alive, but to answer your question, the Cinemalympics is a yearly thing that he does to go over all the movies he has seen in said year and to figure out which one is the best movie of said year. So he might have one for 2025 coming soon, so we could figure that out. But he's one person, ironically. How can one man just defer which movie is the best movie of the year? How do we do that? I mean, yeah, he is one person, and he does have his own opinions, so he has admitted in the past, like, they're strictly his opinions, so we can agree with those opinions, or we don't have to. It's entirely up to you, but, like, it's good to get some answer on what the best movie of the year is, rather than just not knowing, because there's just so many out there. Anyway, I think we should check him out, see what he thinks. Honestly, yeah, why not? Let's give him a shot. Let's see what the best movie of the 2025 Cinemalympics is going to be this year. Let's do it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 2025 Cinemalympics. My name's Cameron Kintz, and if you've been here before, welcome back. And if you're new to the Cinemalympics, let me sort of explain to you how it goes. So, I take every single movie that I have seen within the year, so 2025, and I rank them based on their categorized genre. And those genres are 5 genres. I go over comedy, drama, animation, horror and thriller rolled into one, and action. So I judge them based off how well they stand out to me within said genre. And then the number one movie of each genre, I will figure out which movie is the best movie of the year. So I will start off with my smallest list, and then I'm going to work my way up. So we're going to be starting with comedy. Let me start off real quick by saying all this is entirely my opinion. You have a right to your own opinion. You could say certain movies are better than others. That's entirely up to you. And then with comedy is a very subjective thing. Plenty of genres have comedy supplemented into it. The reason I have a comedy genre is because certain movies, like action movies, are more geared towards action, or animation is more marketed for its animation. I'm basing it off movies with being marketed as comedies. So I have 2 movies. So the second movie in comedy is Anaconda. I saw the movie. I really enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. Had a blast. Actually loved it. It stood out to me in a lot of ways. Definitely recommend it. It was really good. But there's a number one movie for comedy, and I gotta say, it's crazy. It's a Minecraft movie. It was a blast. I had a good time with it, and I've never had a cinema experience like that in my life. So just for that alone, with all the meme-alongs, all the memes with it, just the way it stood out to people, just I'm gonna let Minecraft have the comedy one. All right, let's move on to drama. Okay, so next up on my list is drama. Drama. So it's kind of a light list, and a lot of them are all right, but I'm gonna kind of scroll through them kind of in a bit. But last place is Snow White, the live action remake. So it's not the worst movie I've ever seen. I enjoyed it when it came out. It's not my favorite movie. It's all right. It's kind of forgetful. I'm gonna be honest with you, but hey, if you like the live action remakes and you like something that's kind of different and stands out a little bit, good for you. It wasn't really for me though. I'll be honest with you, but that's kind of why it's in last place. Let's move on to third place, which is the live action Lilo and Stitch remake. It's a good movie. The animation's phenomenal. Looks great. I love the CGI on Stitch and some of the aliens. A lot of it from the original has been taken out, like the main villain, pretty much. I don't remember his name. I feel bad, but took him out. Some of the things they changed, some things they added. It just kind of was forgetful, but I still had a good time with it. I did a review for it on my channel. It's all right, but kind of forgettable if I'm being honest. I almost, like, looking through my list of movies I saw this year, I was like, whoa, okay, yeah, I almost forgot that one. So it didn't stand out to me that much, if I'm being straight up with you. Second place is Wicked for Good. I had a blast with this movie, and a lot of people I know love the Wicked movies, love the show, and I had a really good time with this movie, and just, like, never been huge on The Wizard of Oz or Wicked, but I love what they did with this movie. I love the first one a little bit more, but I had a blast with it. It was really good. I loved the designs, the costumes, everything. I could definitely see people wanting to give it an award for such things. So there were some story beats behind it that I really enjoyed, but am I in a rush to go see it again? No, I'm not, but I had a good time with it. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. There were more people that I'm friends with that probably enjoyed it more than me, but I still had a blast with it. First place is, oh my gosh, it's the live action remake of How to Train Your Dragon. I love How to Train Your Dragon. It's a phenomenal movie. It's a great movie. I had a blast with it. I love the animated one more. I'm just saying that. So just going off that, like, it has a good story. It pulls heavily from the first movie, almost shot for shot. It's the same movie just with a live action format, and some people are for it or against it. I get either way. I'm just kind of indifferent to them, but like this is the first DreamWorks IP that has been made in the live action formula now, and it's like one of the first 3D animated ones. So we're getting to that point now, but it's got the best story. It looks great. It looks phenomenal. It's got an amazing story. So I'm going to say that movie wins with the drama category. So let's move on to animation, shall we? Animation is a phenomenal art style. I love animated movies. And just when people put love and passion behind something that's animated, it's phenomenal. I love the art behind it. It's so fascinating, and I love and respect the patience that people have for making animated movies. So a lot of these movies on my list are phenomenal. I love them. But some are better than others. So I'm going to start off with fifth place. I only have 5. Dogman. Dogman was a great start to 2025 in terms of animated movies. It's got a really cute story. It's a really cute film, but it's not going to stand out in any way like compared to the rest of the things on my list. So Dogman is unfortunately last place. It's still a great movie. It's a good movie that kids will enjoy. I'll say that much. So fourth place, Zootopia 2. Zootopia 2 was a very fantastic movie. There was a lot to it, and they introduced reptiles into the world and just more story beats behind why certain animals aren't allowed in Zootopia. And I really liked where they went with the story, and they definitely teased a third one. I'm just saying. I walked out and didn't see the post-credit scene, so now there's going to be a third one coming because, Disney loves making sequels. So I think Zootopia 2 is really good. Love the first one a bit more, and it's a good movie. But I've seen better movies that are animated that are on this list. So moving on. So third place is The Bad Guys 2. I loved the first one. The first one is so underrated in my opinion. Just the whole Bad Guys IP is underrated in my opinion. I'm shocked there's not more of a following behind it. I really enjoyed this movie. It was really good. It had like that. They're trying to like redeem themselves and just be parts of society, and they have to like they get stuck into a situation. And I just like where they went with it. I hope there's a third one. I don't know how likely that is, but I was glad to go see it. I don't regret seeing it, and it's a good movie. I had a good time with it, and I love the animation, and I just like what they did, and I love the characters. So the last two are very high up in quality. Like, they are a massive leap in quality. And the one in second place, I actually saw last night. David. Oh my goodness, I loved David. It was such a great movie. I love Bible stories, and I love animated movies, and just the way they went about telling the story of David was really well done. I really enjoyed it. I had a blast with it, and like I'm reading through First Samuel right now, and just knowing comparing and contrasting. Oh, this is I've read parts of this. It was phenomenal. I think it was also really good with kids, and I really liked some of the songs with it, and it just had a very powerful message about being brave and looking to the light, as they say in the movie, which means God. Look to God, and He'll give you that bravery that you need. So just watching that was such a phenomenal experience. I loved this movie, and if you haven't seen it, I recommend you go check it out. I had a blast with it. There's some animated parts that were kind of uncanny, to say the least, but overall, like, I can look over that. It was a phenomenal movie with a phenomenal story. Everything about it was so good, and it's frankly a movie that people should go see. It was phenomenal. Is it the Bible? No, it's not. That's what the book's for. But there's so much just good with this movie. I love it, and just hearing kids talk about it, I'm like, people like this movie. So I think it was very well done. I had a great time with it, and I definitely recommend you go see it. There's my little review, because I didn't get a chance to do a review by itself. I could talk about it all day, but with the limited time we have, let's jump into first place. So, when I first started the Cinemalympics, I was only exclusively doing it in movie theaters, and I didn't really include streaming, because I didn't have a lot of streaming services back then. Now I do. So let's talk about what's in first place. K-pop Demon Hunters. Whoa and behold, whoa. K-pop Demon Hunters is first place. I love this movie, and if you told me like back in June when this movie first came out about this movie, I was like, dude, that sounds so stupid. K-pop Demon Hunters sounds stupid. The whole premise sounds stupid. K-pop fighting demons. The whole premise seemed really kooky. Cuckoo from Cocoa Puffs. I don't know why I'm feeling like just jumpy, but anyway, K-pop Demon Hunters was a blast. The first few minutes of the movie, when I was super skeptical about it, I was like, whoa. The first few minutes, I was like, this is stupid. Why am I watching this? This is stupid. But then, like, the first song came on, because this is a musical. The first song came on. I was like, that's not bad. That's a good opening. That's good. Then the story progresses, and it dives into so much with so many fascinating songs. It does a very good telling of. It's a really good relatable story of like someone who is hiding their shame and bringing it to the light, bringing it into the people in her life, and just bringing it to the light and just seeing that what she calls patterns, which that shame come to light, and the way they went about just exploring just how shame shouldn't hold us back, and how they can how their weapon is like song to defeat evil. That was amazing. I loved what they did with this movie, and just the whole thing about it. I really related to Rumi's character. There was a lot of things like she was so ashamed of, and when they were brought to light, of course she was like heartbroken. I'm kind of spoiling things, but the way they just went about like talking about shame and just how the demons are like trying to like shame her, bring her down, and then when they try to shame other people, like people like give into that, and just the movie ends with where they defeat evil with song and about bringing their shame into the light, and that was just such. I could geek out about it. It was just genuinely so good. I could not believe even when I thought, man, this movie sounds stupid, to being like, oh my goodness, I love this movie. I had a blast with it, and I just loved some of the story beats behind it. It's definitely a strong contender for the finale of the Cinemalympics of 2025. And hey, Cameron from 2023, yeah, I saw this movie in theaters as well, but it was such a good time worth streaming it. I watch it all the time. It's that good. It is that good. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend you check it out. It's a blast. So anyway, let's move on to the next genre, which is the horror and thriller section. Alright, horror and thriller. So horror and thriller, I'm more of a thriller kind of guy, but I do like horror from time to time. I have 8 on my list, so we're going to go over them. So, last place should not technically count, but it is marketed as horror. Megan 2.0. Yeah, Megan 2.0, it's not that good of a movie. It doesn't even technically fit in the horror genre or thriller, to come to think of it. But I looked up on Google and it said it fits that category, and I was like, sure, okay. I enjoyed this movie. It was just a fun popcorn movie. But oh my gosh, I was like, dude, this movie's insane. Like, I could not believe like what I was watching. I don't want to dump on this movie too bad. I enjoyed it. It's not a perfect movie. It's forgettable, but I don't want to dip on people who like work on the movie, because it's an art. But don't market it as a horror or thriller movie when it isn't that. I almost want to disqualify it, but I'm not going to, because Google's never wrong. Next place, Until Dawn. Until Dawn is a game I really love. I enjoy it. I've live streamed the game. Check it out if you really want to. I really don't know if you want to, but oh well, it's a 6-hour live stream. So, Until Dawn is a horror movie video game brought into a movie formula. And it's not Until Dawn. They use the title of Until Dawn to sell tickets, I think. But the ending teases Until Dawn. The whole premise of the movie is a group of friends goes into the woods, goes into a cabin in the woods. They die, they come back to life, and they're in a different genre of horror. Horror has its own subgenres. And they kind of go over quite a bit of it. And it teases one of the main threats of Until Dawn. It goes into it a bit. And it's a good movie. I had a good time with it. But there's a lot of plot holes, and like I wanted to do like how can this connect to the game more in depth, but there were so many plot holes and things that I would have to rewatch it to do, and I clearly haven't set aside the time to do that, so I just, a part of me just isn't that invested in that aspect of Until Dawn. So it's still an enjoyable movie. It's nothing perfect, but Sixth place. Let's go over that one. Wolfman. I am a big fan of Universal monsters. Wolfman happens to be one of them. So, being said, it's a good movie. It takes place in the wilderness. It's dark. It's them trying to escape their father/husband, which becomes a wolfman, and it's kind of a sad movie. It's got its thrills, it's got its spooks, but it's really a sad movie because they do so much, just like setting up the main character who is the wolfman, and they just keep on bringing him down and down, and it is kind of hard to watch. It's a good movie, though. I had a good time with it, but I felt sad leaving the movie. I was like, dude, I feel so bad for this guy. Like, oh my word. It's a good movie. I don't know how likely I'll rewatch it, but it was a good movie. I had a good time with it. It's not my favorite movie of the year, though. It was one of the January releases. Wow, it came out a year ago. Oh my gosh, almost a year ago. Fifth place. Final Destination Bloodlines. So, my goodness. This movie haunted me. This movie was hard for me. I love horror and I love thriller, but I can be a very skittish person, if I'm being straight up. Some of the things they do in Until Dawn I didn't do a review because I spent most of the time just like hiding my face from the gross gory bits. Like there's a part where like they step on a piece of glass and I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm out. I'm done. It's a good movie. I had a good time with it. I'm lying to myself. It's a good movie. People enjoy it. But I could not just for the life of me. Like I had to keep looking away. It got to me that much. I'm just going to be straight up with you guys. It got to me. That movie got me. And I haven't watched a lot of horror movies since that this year. Like 28 years later, didn't see that. Weapons, didn't see it. This movie like pulled me away from horror for a bit. If I'm going to be straight up with you. Anyway, I can be a very skittish person. Now you know that. Next up, you may disagree with me. You may not. I prefer more slashers and more franchise things personally. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. It's a good movie. I had a good time with it. I really loved what they did with it, and I love what they're going towards. But based off the movie itself, I had a good time with it, and I loved just seeing I loved seeing all the practicality behind it. It, to me, was really well done. It's a good movie. Phenomenal movie. I could actually watch it. It's actually much more scarier than the first one, if I'm being straight up with you guys. So, I like that does help me make it higher on its list. So, it's really good. I enjoy it. You should definitely go check it out if you really want to. Especially if you're a Five Nights at Freddy's fan. I like where they're going with it, though. It's going to be exciting. Third place. The Long Walk. Oh my goodness. This movie also almost got to me. It's based off a novel by Stephen King. And just the whole premise is them walking where they get shot. Sounds like a simple premise. Oh my goodness. It can be hard to watch. It is graphic. It is heavily just painful to watch. It's so painful to watch sometimes. It's a great movie. I had a blast with it. I love what they did with it. But like, turning a simple premise such as a normal human thing, a normal living being thing to walk, they made it so painful and just they raised the stakes so high. And like, it's not a scary movie, and it's not leaned towards graphic violence. It's more just a psychological horror that got to me a bit, if I'm being straight up. And that was like one of their big things for me. That was like, oh my gosh, I could not imagine being in this situation. And just imagining being a part of that world and doing that walk. I'm like, dude, no, I wouldn't do it. I could not do it. I don't want to do it. It's a good movie. It's a bit underrated in my opinion, but if you watch the trailer, it's like, ugh. There's parts of it I was just like, no, not the feet, no. Just some of it was just kind of hard to watch. I'll be straight up with you. So it definitely does fit in its category. If I you know what I'm saying. Next place, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It's not a perfect movie. It's frankly more of a guilty pleasure movie. Hard Eyes. So Hard Eyes is that Valentine's Day slasher movie that came out back in February, where this guy with heart eyes goes on a mission to kill couples. It's not a great movie. It's not a... Okay, no, it is a great movie. I had a blast with it. I just love... It was just it felt very traditional in a slasher film. It felt very traditional in that way. I really enjoyed it. I had a blast with it, and I just loved the characters. I loved the villain. It reminded me of like... I almost said Ghost. I was like, what? It reminded me of the Scream movies, but with less of that mystery aspect and just more of the slasher bit. And I'm a big fan of slashers. I love slasher films. It's, again, a guilty pleasure. I'll admit that. But it's not my number one pick. My number one pick is Sinners. Oh my goodness. This movie is great. My expectations for it were kind of, not that they were low. Like, I love and respect what Ryan Coogler does, but it was just kind of a movie. I was like, hey, you want to go see it? Yeah, sure. Yeah, why not? Oh my gosh. I got to take a jog around the block. This movie was fantastic. I had a blast with it, and I love what they did with it. So, one sec. Alright, we had to change location, but now let's continue talking about Sinners. So, I had a fantastic time with Sinners, and it was a very good movie. I had a blast with it. I loved the characters, and I loved the message behind it, and it was done in such a way to where I had my own interpretations, and other people had their own interpretations as well. And that part really blew me away. So, I think it was a fantastic movie, and it's definitely in the top contender for the 2025 Cinemalympics. So let's move on to action now. Action in genre now. The final one. I have 8 entries on that one, so let's start with the one that's in last place, which is Novocaine. Novocaine is a fantastic movie. I had a great time with it. It's about a guy who can't feel pain, and he uses that to be an action superstar kind of guy. And it's just a very classic, one of those classic action films, and I had a good time with it. Anyway, next up is Captain America: Brave New World. It's a good movie. It's got good stuff in it. It's got great action, but it's kind of forgettable, and some of the things with it could have been better, but it was a good movie. I enjoyed it, and I loved the Red Hulk. He was like one of the best looking versions of the Hulk I'd seen in years, so seeing that was good, but there's definitely higher movies in the century. So let's move up to Jurassic World Rebirth. They were trying to lean more towards a suspense type of thing, but it was still more action-y in my opinion, and it was a good movie. Kind of forgettable, but it was still pretty good. It looked pretty good, but that's all I have to really say about it. It's kind of why it's in 6th place. Next up is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. It's a good action movie. I had a great time with it. I had fun. The story was good. It was just simple, just fun action, great practical effects. It was a good time. The stunts were amazing. I'll say that much. Next up is Avatar: Fire and Ash. It's a good movie, but it didn't necessarily stand out to me. I personally preferred The Way of Water much more than Fire and Ash, but I still had a good time with it. But I don't really have a lot to say on it without really going into spoilers. But this video isn't about Avatar: Fire and Ash, so that's kind of where I'm leaning towards that. It's definitely a good movie. It's one of the better. It looks visually very stunning and beautiful. But there's other movies I enjoyed a bit more. So next up, this one became a toss-up / last-minute change, which is Fantastic Four: First Steps. A great movie about family, great stakes, very high stakes,
great casting. It was a phenomenal fit movie, or I should say, fantastic. I'm not going to insert that "say that again" meme, but say that again. Anyway, I had a really good time with it. It's definitely one of Marvel's best and has one of its best female characters, Sue Storm. She was phenomenal. Just a great movie. I had a great time with it. Next up is Thunderbolts, or the New Avengers. Spoiler alert. So, I was really stuck between these two, between 2 and 3. I had a great time with this movie, and just thinking about it more and more, I thought, man, I actually enjoyed Thunderbolts a bit more than Fantastic Four. Both movies are fantastic, so I kind of just jumped the gun and decided I enjoy Thunderbolts a bit more. It's definitely more of a mental health case study, and it shows, and that just stands out to me so well. And I love what they did with it, and I love such a unique villain, and the stakes were good, and I liked just everything that was leading up towards it. It's a good movie, and it's my second place, but first place has to go with Superman. This movie, I had really high expectations for this movie, and oh my gosh, it delivered. I had a blast with Superman. I cannot tell you how much I loved this movie. It was a great start to this new DC universe, and it left me with wanting more. I cannot wait to see where they go next. I enjoyed Peacemaker Season 2, and but Superman, they had great characters, a great story, and a great message. There's just so much that's so super fantastic about it. And just knowing that, I was like, dude, this movie is so good. I love this movie. It was my most anticipated movie of the year, and my goodness, it delivered. So Superman is the movie of the year. So let's get into the final results and figure out which movie is the movie of the year. Okay, so I stand by my choices of last year and the year before's Cinemalympics choices, but we're going to be changing it up this year more towards a point system. I am grading off style, originality, message, expectations, and for the expectations, if the movie meets my initial points, they will also get those points, which will add to the total. So I have my 5 movies, which are Minecraft, How to Train Your Dragon, K-Pop Demon Hunters, Sinners, and Superman. So with Minecraft, the style, I'm going to give a 7. I love the live action look for a Minecraft movie. I love just the way they made a video game look in a realistic setting, and I thought that was really well done. So I'm going to give it a 7. Originality, it is based off a video game, which does kind of diminish the points. That's not on the movie's fault. I know what they were going for, but in terms of the story, it was just a very simple story. And if I really did some digging, same with other people, they would probably find very similar stories. So I'm gonna give it a 4. The overall message, if I'm gonna be honest with you, there has not been a message in the story that stuck out to me in such a great way. So I'm going to give it a 2. My initial expectations were a 2, and that was just because of the trailers and everything, and just the overall marketing just didn't get to me. But after the movie, I'm going to give it a 4. People would say, why is it not higher? My cinema experience was insane. It was the most insane theater experience I've ever had, and it's caused a whole movement, to say the least. But that was for the memes and stuff, and that blew away my audience expectation, but not the movie's expectation. So I'm gonna stick to 4, which will leave Minecraft at 19 points. How to Train Your Dragon, I'm going to give the style a 3. It is a remake, and it just doesn't really do a whole lot to have its own style, It's very much just live action shot for shots, which has been seen before, just in a different format. So that does affect the originality. I'm going to give that a 2, mainly just because the efforts behind the visuals do look really well. They just don't do a whole lot of new things. It's very much already a movie we've seen before. But for the message, I'm going to give a 5. I thought it was a good message. It's a movie I love, and I love what they do with it. So I'm going to give it a 5. So my expectations, I set them at 5. And of course, it was the same movie I knew I was going to see. I've already seen it before plenty of times. So I gave it a 5. My expectations were met. I'm going to give it 20 points. All right, next up is K-pop Demon Hunters. For style, I'm going to give it an 8. Just the whole style and just using K-pop and having music and everything about it was just such a great style. The animation looked phenomenal. Just the whole premise was insanely great. I loved it. So for the originality, I'm going to give it a 9. I never once thought K-pop and fighting demons would ever coexist together in one movie in such a great way. So I'm going to give that a 9. The message was, I'm going to give an 8. It was just a phenomenal message. It was great. I loved it. 8 is definitely a good point. But a lot of it, like, I internalized in my own way. The movie didn't have to explicitly tell you that, which does point favor to the movie. But like for younger kids who don't fully relate to these characters quite yet, that might blow over their heads. But I'm gonna stick with an 8. My initial expectations were low at a 3, but then my afterward expectations were a 7. So that makes K-pop Demon Hunters 35 points, so far in the lead. All right, next up is Sinners. The style, I'm going to give an 8. I love period pieces, and I just love the whole setting and everything they were building towards. Next up, we'll give it, for the originality, I'm going to give it a 9. It was just a really well original story, just two twin brothers who were played by the same actor, wanting to open up a club, which was cool, and vampires coming. And they like do it in such a good way, and they incorporate music, and that just adds so much just flavor and mix into it, rather than just being a generic horror movie or a generic vampire flick. They added much more substance to it to go off of. So in terms of that, I'm going to give it a 9. The overall message, it was a very powerful message, and I definitely recommend you go check it out to internalize your own thoughts on it. But I'm going to give it a 7 because my interpretation may be different from yours. My general expectation at first was a 5, and the movie blew me away. At the very end, I was like, wow, that is such a great movie. Just blown away. So I'm going to give it a 9, which makes it at 38 points. Next up is Superman. The overall style, I'm going to give a 7. It was a very unique way of filming the film, and just seeing like the flight maneuvers and how they did the camera work behind it. It was really well done. I love the world they were in, where everything's already pre-established and like kaijus can come out of nowhere and just grow just like that. There was so much good behind it, and just the characters were great. Originality, I'm going to give it a 7. It is a Superman story, and the whole premise is about kindness, which we'll get to that in a minute, but it does have a lot of original things. Like, I would never expect Superman to work with a justice gang, but like some of the things that are kind of holding it back is it is a very much a good guy trying to stop bad guy situation and just trying to be the good guy. There's plenty of other stories similar to that, but I give it such high praise because of the way it was written and just how well done this character was done justice. So next up is The Message. I'm going to give that a 6. The main premise is to be kind, and that kindness should not be an old-fashioned way of living. So I'm going to give it a 6. That's the main message, and if there's any other messages I'd have to feel free to comment those down below. My general expectation for this movie was an 8, and my expectations were even more blown. I'm going to give it a 9, which will be 37. So with these points all totaled up, that means in last place we have a Minecraft movie. In Fourth place, we have How to Train Your Dragon. Third place, K-pop Demon Hunters. Second place, Superman. And first place is Sinners. Congratulations to Sinners. Congratulations to the people behind it. Sinners is my movie of the year.